boy.
Oh boy.
I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we have a snowstorm going on, and reception might suck with our signal. So if it freezes up, or if I stutter, or something like that, well, if I stutter, it might be me.
Yeah, that's definitely you.
It might be me, but it might be also the weather, because it is snowing. It's been snowing since this morning, and I'm watching a little icon on my display here tell me that the signal sucks.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys can see us good. You can hear us good. Tonight is open mic night on the Skeptical Out Bar.
Woo!
Yes. That is this kind of show is when you guys keep the show going. So if you don't have questions or topics or comments, we go home early, which is okay because I got a long drive tomorrow morning. So I'm good with going home a little bit early. But we got a couple things. 2 things, actually 3 things. One, I have to go over the rules. So let me go over the rules first before we move on. Rule number 1 is that you are welcome to ask questions. That's what this show is about. You ask questions, we learn, and we debate and we discuss, and we come out hopefully better than we came in. Does that make sense? I wasn't sure where I was going with that. I was kind of just, shooting from the hip. Rule number 2 is that I don't know everything. I really don't.
He doesn't. I can vouch for that.
I mean, sometimes I used to pretend that I did I knew everything. I used to pretend back when I was a ghost hunter because, that's the stereotype. Anyway, so if I don't know, I'll write it down. I have my notebook here. I have Google here. I have Google here. So
and I'm right here.
And Donna's here. She can look it up. And we have somebody else in the back. Shh. Rule number 3 is we follow the Patrick Swayze rule here, and that is to be nice. Be nice. You can be in the chat room. Oh. You're free to ask questions. You can do. You can discuss. You can debate. You can disagree. That's cool. Just don't devolve into name calling. And if you're posting spicy kind of links, Donna will boot you.
Spicy kind of links.
That's code for porn.
Right.
Snowstorm. No one likes a bragger. Whatever. Hi, Melanie. So
there's a whole bunch of people in here.
4.
Go ahead.
Gosh, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, we have to say hello.
Is that if you do have a question, please do us a favor. Put a Q in front of it. That helps Donna out by picking them out from the rest of the comments, and that we can get to them and answer them accordingly and in a timely fashion until she goes, come on, move on.
Yes, yes.
Because that happens a lot.
Or I'll just throw something at you.
Yeah, no.
No, I never thought of that.
No, do not touch my stuff.
I have Fruit Loops.
Oh my God. If you see a Fruit Loop
flying by, it means move on.
All right. And rule number 5 is my favorite rule, drink up. So let me
let's say hello. Let's say hello to a whole bunch of people here.
Go ahead. Say hello to people.
Jay Kitten's in the house.
Yeah.
Robert DePiero.
Yeah.
John and Melissa. Finally, we missed you guys in the chat.
Awesome.
Carolyn, Tiffany, JD.
Oh, nice.
Keith Edwards. Tea and Spirits is a new viewer.
Yeah. Part of the paranormal debunking crowd.
Melanie.
Oh, Mr. Gray. Cool. Okay. Melanie. Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Adrian. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Welcome, everyone.
Other people are watching but not commenting. So hello to you guys too.
That's all right. So 2 things tonight. 2 things before we get started. First, and I announced this earlier. Well, actually first when I scheduled the show. Tonight, we have a giveaway. We got 2 books autographed by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes. These are special books.
These are special
because you can't buy them anywhere.
With the purple. That is purple.
It is purple ink purple, there.
But it is purple.
And that's a special copy.
That's how he signs these things. Wow, look, I'm blown out.
I know. It's because
there we go. There we go.
Oh, they put the book up, I think.
I put the book up. It screwed me up.
Yeah, you guys need it.
I'm like way too white for a
So you got to pay attention tonight.
So there's going to be a secret phrase. At some point, I really don't like this. This is bad.
Right, turn one of those lights out.
Let me turn this down a little bit so that it doesn't...
Lisa's in the house. Redman. Hey, Redman.
Okay, that's better. Maybe? No, it still looks weird. I don't know. Maybe it's the storm.
It looks
I'll blame
like
the
this
storm.
one.
I'm going to blame the storm.
Like it's washing out from this way.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Let me do that one. That's better? That's a little bit better. Yeah. All right, so I got a special phrase tonight. It's a secret phrase. At some point, it will show up here. So you have to watch the whole show because I don't know when I'm going to put it up. And if you put that secret phrase in the chat room,
You have to write it in the chat.
you have to write it in the chat. Donna will write your name down on a piece
I
of
got
paper.
little papers ready.
That's almost.
I got little papers ready.
Little papers ready. I'm still getting blown out.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Let me just turn it down.
I'm gonna turn them out for now.
Yep. This
Nope.
one.
Turn that one out.
There, that's better.
Now
It's
weird.
actually above.
All right. Maybe it's. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's that. I don't know. Anyway, so
Want me to turn those
I'm
lights
gonna
on?
stop. So if you do that, your names are gonna go in a hat. We're gonna pick it at the end of the show. Pick the hat. Pick the names out of the
name
hat.
out.
and 2 people are gonna get a book. 1 each. Yeah, and we'll send it out to you. You'll have to contact me and give me your address, and then I'll get it out to you. The second thing is,
Okay,
and he's been really
Tiffany
patient.
missed what we were talking about already.
So
Tiffany.
we have 2 of these, and we're gonna put them out. They're for raffle, pretty much raffle. You have to pay attention because there's gonna be a secret phrase that's gonna come up on the screens at some point, and you have to put it in the chat room. When you put it in the chat room, your name will go onto a piece of paper, which will go into a hat with other names, and then we'll mix them up and we'll pick out two people who will win books.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's new book.
Yes.
And
All right.
it's signed purple.
So here we go. There's the second thing is we have a ride along tonight. We have a kind of a special guest that wasn't planned,
sweetie.
but we were chatting and he wants to come on. I offered for him to come on and hang out for a bit. So we got Daniel Reed, who is putting together the West Virginia Skeptic Society. And he's also written 3 articles now. His last article just posted, I think, yesterday. So let me bring him on. There he is.
Hey.
Hey. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Can't complain.
All right. That's cool. So again, I apologize to everyone because if it does freeze up, because I know it's been freezing up on me.
Yeah, on our side. Yeah. The storm's really messing it up.
But let me put the special guest. So we're special guests.
There you go.
There we are. So Daniel,
I feel special now.
As you should.
Real quick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and so the people can get to know you.
Well, I don't know. I'm just a good old boy from West Virginia. I grew up here. I've been in Central West Virginia all my life. Went to school. I actually work in the high school that I graduated from back in 1988. I went to college here. We're in a college town that just changed to university status. So went to the Glenville State College at the time, now university.
Okay.
And then went to West Virginia University later on, and Marshall University. And so, grew up just a friend of mine. What did she say the other day? She said, well, all this skeptical stuff that you're doing now, I guess being weird back in high school kind of paid off, didn't it? And so, here I am.
Here you are. That's all good. Oh, wait a minute. Am I frozen now?
Yeah, you're going in and out too.
I am frozen. What the heck?
You're
is going
okay on Facebook though.
Oh,
it's
am I?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the inner
goodness
house thing because I turned the Wi-Fi off on my phone to get the comment.
Let me see what happens if I turn it off.
Oh, hi. There's
turn
Donna.
me back on. Oh no, I don't have a camera now. Oh, I hate when this happens.
It'll be all right. Just keep talking.
In fairness, it's a good picture of you right there.
It is a good picture.
You seem right jolly right.
Oh, I might have to reset because I won't be able to put up the secret phrase later.
Yeah.
I won't be able to do a lot. This kind of sucks.
Do you have to log off for that?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen if I don't do something.
If you don't unfreeze.
But we'll keep talking. So, I mean, if you have questions, put them up there while I figure this out, and Donna will pick out some questions and we'll read them, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So there.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna try some questions.
Yeah, let's do some questions because
All
I'm
right, hold
still
on.
here.
JD wants to know, where are you going this weekend?
Wow, that's a what's with language, man?
Right?
You
But I
really don't
didn't
have to
say
do
that, so
So where am I going this weekend? I'm
can you
going.
tell us?
Yeah, I
I don't
can
know.
because it's not a secret. I'm going to the Shanley Hotel in Napanoke,
Napanoke.
New York. Napanoke.
Napanoke.
Yeah, so I'm going out there. It's allegedly haunted. I've been there a couple times. You've been there, what, once?
We've been there a few times. I've been there like 2
Okay.
or 3.
All right,
Yeah.
I've been there. I was there quite a few times. But this was like we're talking like 20s. I don't know,
We were probably there maybe
2006.
15 years ago.
Yeah,
The
it's
first
been a
time
while.
it was a
I
while.
really don't like not having my camera on.
Well, can you?
Really don't like this. This is
How do we?
driving me crazy. I don't know if I can fix it or not. I don't know.
Well, why don't you? Oh, if it cancels everything out.
Let me.
And your sound is gone, and I'm like the Wizard of Oz's head, great big on the screen, and I can't hear anything. So, still not hearing anything. Let's see. I'm going to try to reach you through Messenger. See if that can help. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so you all have the power now. You have all the power now. Yes, I suppose I probably do. Not really. I'm just sort of here blathering on. Melanie Tressick King, are you there? Because he can't see messages. Okay. Well, so I'm so I'm still live streaming. Is that right? I can do some magic. Let's see. Okay. Someone says, who says that? Are you getting this? So yes, I'm getting this on Messenger. Oh, there's Melanie. Yes, hi, I am. So yes, and you can hear me, correct? Yes, I can hear. I can't see, I can't hear anything coming over the screen. I can just hear, I can just see. This is quite funny. Talk about something fun. All right, so a long time ago in a galaxy not so very far away, let's see, I can talk to you a little bit about the story, the article that I just did. One of the things that I did was when I was young, I saw a magic set in the Christmas catalog, and I thought, man, I really want that. Because the description that was there and everything, and I was like really excited about it because I saw the magic wand. I saw that magic wand in there, and I thought, my goodness, I will be able to do all kinds of things with this magic wand, because I really enjoyed watching television shows like Bewitched and what's another one? I Dream of Jeannie and things like that. And I always wondered if I wanted to be able to do like move my hands and like Uncle Arthur or Endora or something like that, and make a pony appear or something. And I thought if I got this magic wand, I'd be in business. So got that, put in my wish to Santa Claus. And so on Christmas morning, got up and I went into under the Christmas tree, and there it was. There was that wonderful little magic set. And I opened it up, and I was ticked because that magic wand, that's what I was going for. Absolutely what I was going for. Well, I opened it up and I looked at it and I thought, this is it. The little cups and balls and little, there was some sponge ball magic sorts of things, little tiny rabbits that were in there. And so I'm looking at it. This is it. Oh, the magic wand. And I got the magic wand out, and then they had this little instruction booklet in there. And I began looking through all those sorts of things, and poof, nothing happened. I waved the wand and nothing happened. And I thought to myself, what is this? This is not what it said on the box. The box said I would be able to do these things, or in the catalog, it said I would be able to do these things. And so it was then and there that I began to realize that magic wasn't real. And John Kennedy saying, "Oh my God, I had those little magic balls." And I've got this. There he is.
Oh my goodness.
You're still choppy.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for keeping the show going.
Right.
I don't know what happened. That's the second time that's done that to me. But it's just the camera just stopped and it tried not to, and it wouldn't come on, and then I lost everything.
Wait, yeah, they need to hear the end of the story.
Go ahead, please continue. Host.
So I was all disappointed, and so in the article I wrote something to the effect of, I felt like Sally on The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, when she said, "I've been robbed. This is what a fool I was." And so I started to do magic, and I did magic at school. My teachers were really patient, I think would be really the word for it, maybe, or encouraging. They encouraged me a lot. And I would do little magic shows at school. And even my senior year in high school, there was a talent show, and I did a little magic show for the talent show. And then later on, I started working, doing magic around the state and so on and so forth. And, it was a friend of mine he was a semi-professional magician, and he also went to medical school. And he would loan me his books and his magazines and such when he went to medical school. And it was there that I discovered the Skeptical Inquirer. So, it's been an interesting ride ever since. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. That good story. I love it. And you can also, if you guys want to know more information, his article is on skepticalinquirer.org. So you can check that out. And it's a good article. It's really good. Lots of detail. I really enjoyed reading it. So, and I loved every part, especially the part where I'm in it. The only part that I didn't like was this Ben Radford guy.
This Ben Radford stuff. I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
That jackass does not need any more praise.
I don't see him in the chat, so you're good.
Ben is just super nice, and he has helped me so much. And I'm so wordy. As a matter of fact, I have a submission into him right now. And and he shouldn't Daniel get one of those sign books for saving the Hellfire?
I think so. We might have to do that.
Yeah, I need to. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to amend the rules and say yes. So, do you have this book?
No, I don't have it.
You do now.
So you do now. This one's gonna be for you.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate that.
And then, so everyone else, I still have one.
Well, you know what? Let's repeat it real quick before.
Let's repeat it in case you didn't get it. Yeah, I'll be putting up a secret phrase on screen somewhere, and all you have to do is put it in the chat room, and then your name will go into a hat, and Donna will pick at the end of the show, or actually Donna will put them all in the hat. I'll pick it out. And go ahead.
I have to say, Melanie was messaging me through all this, so she's the one that said, "Doc, do something fun." So, Melanie, tell Dimitri I say hello as well. I'd like to scratch Dimitri on the head.
Oh man,
I love Dimitri.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not a cat lover. I don't like cats. I'm allergic to them. So I'm in there, and 5 minutes later, I'm like.
So he hates them all.
So yeah, therefore cats are the seed of demons. But I guess I can tolerate them from a distance. So
take that back, Melanie says.
No, demon. They do what they want.
I'll take Dimitri for you, Melanie. We'll just make Kenny take medicine for his allergies.
Yeah. So before we get to the questions, you were telling. I think you were telling your origin story, right?
Yeah,
a little bit about it. So since doing that, and since you got this third article now, you got a fourth one in the chute, which is awesome. But in the meantime, you have been working in the background on something else. So what have you been working on?
Well, actually, besides the West Virginia Skeptics Society, I've been working on a couple of other things. I'm going to take a slight diversion. I went to the Gray Barker. If you guys are familiar with Gray Barker, of the Mothman and the Flatwoods Ministry thing. So I've been doing some research on him. Interesting guy. But as the main thing that I've been doing in the last 3 weeks is trying to establish the West Virginia Skeptic Society, and actually have to, with the help of Tim Vickers is absolutely, oh my gosh, he's been so helpful and so instrumental in doing all this. I've never met him other than just via email, but on March 18th we have our first meeting, and he's coming there, and so I'm tickled to death with that. So.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I am so happy. I can't wait to see you guys get going and just get some traction and grow and see what comes of it, because that's good. As far as I know, there are no West Virginia skeptical groups.
No.
Yeah. So if you're in the West Virginia area and you're watching this and you're interested, contact Daniel and see what you can do. Get in there, start the group, get into the group, start brainstorming, get ideas, and start spreading the love.
Spread the love.
Love everywhere.
I don't think we're that kind of group, man.
Well,
maybe we'll have to have you both on this show.
Oh yeah, after your meeting, maybe we'll do that. We'll get you on as a proper guest. We'll actually advertise, and hopefully this time, you won't have to take over the
show. One time when I was in college, the secretary in the department that I worked in when I was a student there, she said, "Daniel, we've got a room full of kids, and we have a half an hour to kill. What can you do? Do you have any of your magic stuff out in your vehicle?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually I do." So
there you go.
I ran out and got some stuff and brought it in, and so this I wasn't expecting that, obviously, so either, but had I had my little raccoon or something like that, I would have done a little bit better.
That's a lifesaver, man. I go into panic mode because as soon as everything cut off, I was like, oh crap, what do I do? What do I do?
Well, at least we know you can come back up now.
But I mean, yeah, I knew, because Donna and I are in the same room.
Right.
So if anything, I could do the show from the laptop that she's on.
Right.
But then it would just be a little bit harder. She couldn't do the background stuff that she does. So, but I mean, I could do that, but yeah, quick restart. And it's my fault, because usually I have to restart my computer like once a week, and it's just because I'm doing so much. Like, I usually have like 50 some tabs open on this screen. I have 40 on this screen, and then like 100 on this screen, and I'm doing stuff all day, 10 hours a day. So
yeah, I blame you too.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's Kenny's fault.
All right, so with that, you got your origin story, you got your West Virginia Skeptic Society going. So let's let's dive into some questions here. Let's
Okay.
see what people are asking.
All
I know
right.
we had JD's question up, his vulgar question earlier. But yeah, to continue on that, I'm going to the Shanley Hotel,
Oh,
which is
wow.
that is it's supposed to be a haunted hotel. We've been there a couple times. I've done tests. My friend Mitch Silverstein, I went with him once, and he set up really good experiments. He had 4 microphones set up, like a quadro, I forget what he called it, quad mic setup. So we had a microphone in each corner of the room, and he could pinpoint where a noise was coming from in the room. It was really cool. It was really, really neat. And that helped determine, like, some EVPs were not EVPs. They were people, living people making noises, which is great, because when people come out, when I see ghost hunters come out of a room like that, when they do like their talking to ghost session, and they come out and they're like, oh, let's listen to it, and they get these weird noises, and they're like, oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? You know, that must be a ghost. And by using that system, and I wish he really developed it more, by using that, we could tell that it was someone kicking a banister or creaking their chair, something like that, instead of a voice. So it was really, really cool. But this time I'm going back. There's a paranormal group that invited me out. They had an open slot, so I jumped on it, and I'm going out there. And it's a new owner that has that takes care of the hotel now. So I'm anxious to see what kind of claims that they're making about the hotel, about alleged ghosts and stuff like that. So I'll be busy. Once I get out there, it's like a 5-hour drive. So with the snow, it's probably going to be a 6
or 7,
or 7,
depending on how you go.
By the time I get there, hopefully I'll be amped up on energy drinks, and I'll be able to do some investigating. So, but there you go. That's what I'm doing this weekend. So, all right.
Cool.
Now, next question.
All right,
Please.
moving on. It's for Daniel.
Oh, can Daniel tell us about his new book research?
Well, it's not a book. It's the research that I'm working on right now. Well, there's actually a couple of different things. One of the things is that I've been working on is for the new article for the Skeptical Inquirer that Ben has right now. Actually, he sent it back, and I'm going to do a few more revisions and send that back to him by Friday. And that's on faith healers, Appalachian faith healers.
Ooh.
And so one of the things that I found fascinating was this idea that there's people that actually believe that they can heal folks, that they have powers, preternatural powers that are bestowed upon them by some divine being or some entity of some sort. And they really do believe that. And my great grandmother was one of those people. She actually believed that and there's stories in my family. They'd say, well, Granny Lucy was a witch. That's one of the things that they would say as whenever her name was brought up. But she wasn't really a witch. She was really a very religious woman. And by witch, they're not meaning the same thing that you're thinking about when you say witch today, like Wiccans and so on. It was just your old. There's actually a term called granny witch that's made its way into the vernacular. So, and that's kind of what she was. If you think about Granny Clampett off of the Beverly Hillbillies, that's kind of what you. And I've got a picture of my great grandmother that I've submitted into the article. But anyway,
that's so cool.
Cool.
I'm going to be a granny witch.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, not physically, no.
Not yet.
No,
the granny part, no.
Not the granny part, but
not yet.
When that time does come, she's. Yeah,
I will be a granny witch.
She's a witch.
You'll be brewing up all these different concoctions. And potions.
Yeah.
I like concoctions.
Yeah. Mine's just regular unsweetened tea. So.
I know. I have water.
Mine's just sweetened.
Well, mine's
rum.
I mean that sounds good. I mean, we deal. I mean, there's different versions of that. So you have faith healers, and then you have psychic mediums that also claim sometimes to do Reiki healing and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, Reiki has been proven over and over again to not work at all. It is, and then the faith healing. I mean, we talked about it last week about Peter Popoff and faith healers like him. You know, that just take advantage of people and exploit the hell out of them. But what you're talking about is a little bit different because it's kind of like it's in the family. It's you grow up with that.
You grow up with it, and there's people that just I mean, do that in this area, and it's not just limited to this area. I really truly, there are people that really believe that they have this, like people who believe that they can do or have psychic interpretations of tarot cards, or who get impressions of people, and they genuinely believe it. And so one of the things I'm looking at is why do they believe those things? Right. And so what I did with Ben's direction was, because it was really broad. It was a really broad topic to start out, and I narrowed it down. And with Ben's direction, I took things that I found in Central Appalachia, as folks out say it. We don't here we say Lacha. Y'all from out there say Lacha.
Appalachian.
We say Appalachian.
Appalachian.
I say Appalachian.
Yeah. That's and I didn't know that till the other day. Honestly, to goodness, I looked the other day, and I had something pulled up, and it said Appalachian, and I was like, Appalachian? What the heck's an Appalachian? and I was like, wait a minute. And then I found something else that say people in that area say Latchin, and we do. We say Appalachian and Appalachian. Anyway, I'm wordy and get off on different topics, but so anyway, I looked at this area and then found some stories that were not just here, but in some other areas, and then applied them, what I found, to the belief as a whole. So that's the next article that I'm working on. And then there's a few others that I have ideas for. One of which is a Tesla Spirit ghost box.
Yeah. There you go. I
actually bought the kit. I have that kit. I bought the kit, and I'm going to build it. So we'll see what comes of it.
So, all right, then why don't we put up another question?
Okay.
And we'll take a look at that.
From Tea and Spirits.
Tea and Spirits. Oh, it's new. This is somebody new.
Do you have a written set of investigation guidelines for all your investigators to follow?
Do you have a written set of investigation guidelines for all your investigators to follow? I don't know who you're talking to. Like, I don't have investigators. I have me. So I have guidelines that I go by. But when I say guidelines, I actually have, like, I have a full form. Sometimes it's like 5 to 7 pages, depending on where I'm going, that I follow, and it depends on the claims. So if like people are seeing things, there's one set of guidelines that I go by. If they're hearing things, there's another set of guidelines that I go through. But basically, it's going in, seeing what kind of claims are testable, and then going from there. It really is. You can't plan it too much, depending on how much information you have beforehand. So if, say, for like this weekend going to the Shanley Hotel, I looked up some of the claims that are on the website, some that were in an article that was written a couple years ago about the place, about its alleged ghosts. And I was able to do historical research on the people that were named and find out information about them and whether they had anything to do with the hotel or not. So that's something you can do. That's something I do beforehand, before I get there. But usually it's like, all right, let's go find out what we got. You know, I go in there, I'll talk to the owners, because sometimes you hear claims outside from other investigators or ghost hunters or something like that, and it's not the same as what the owners are promoting. So I want to make sure I get it right from the owners, and that way I can plan accordingly. So I don't have a written set. I don't know if that question actually was for me or if it was for Daniel.
Well, does Dan have a written set?
Daniel, do you have a written set?
Well, Oh, you're gonna love my response, Kate. Only what Ben Radford has written.
That jackass. I'm going to bring it up, and I hope he's watching, or at least watches the replay. I've had to solve some of his cases for him because he just couldn't do it. Didn't have the skills. And
you're getting it for that.
I'm going to say my Google foo is better than Ben Radford.
Strong Google. The foo is strong with you.
No, he's a great guy. He's got really good sense of investigation. I joke and we kid, and you've seen us kid back and forth. I mean, I've learned a lot from him. I
think he just throws shit your way just to keep you busy.
Whatever.
I mean,
thanks for sticking up for your husband there.
Oh, I always stick up for you. But someone's got to stick up for Ben. He's not here to defend himself.
That's good. That makes it easier because he's got some snappy comebacks.
that post today on the group, that was I just like, y'all just cracked me up. I just think,
yeah, we have fun. We totally have fun.
Oh, see, look.
Joe Nichols too. Joe Nichols' book, Investigating the Paranormal. That was a big guide for me. Yeah,
Joe's had a lot of books, and a lot of them are on the shelf back here. Actually, like right where the PKE meter here is in the background. I have pretty much all his books, and if I don't have it, I can walk down to his office
and borrow it.
But I see him once in a while. He comes in here every so often and stops in and visits me. But yeah, he's had a wealth of knowledge, and I actually love talking to Joe when we can talk about photography and old photographs and methods of not only double exposures, but how people would merge and make collages out of old photography and negatives. And it's just a delight to talk to him and pick his brain. And Ben's the same way. I mean, Ben's awesome. It's just his books are right up there next to Kenny, would you ever be able to get Joe?
I was just thinking the same thing. The only way we would do it is if he was actually in have to studio.
Joe does not do anything on the internet at all. He does not own
I wonder
a computer,
if he would come over if we asked him.
It would be
that would be the show if Joe Nickel came on.
It would be interesting.
Joe Nickel and Ben Radford pop them.
Well, we could bring Ben in via. I don't know if that would go over well.
We'll talk after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do one at a time.
Probably wouldn't work.
Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll catch you up after the show on that one. So, all right, that's a good question. That was a good question, and I hope we answered it. Tea and spirits.
Oh, here he's got another one, real quick.
Your funniest paranormal experiences. Ooh. Feel free to jump in if you think of one first. Funniest.
I haven't had any really that's funny. I've had some that I've just where people are mean. For example, the one case that I was investigating, the Historical Society, they were not happy with me because I asked questions that they thought I was going at a different angle than I was. But I've never had anything funny happen.
I don't know.
Only when we make stuff happen is it funny.
I mean, remember Bob?
I remember Bob.
Fort Mifflin?
Oh my God, you and Bob running out of Fort Mifflin.
No,
we were on the wall watching.
So we were at a fort called Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia, and this was many years ago.
It had to be over it was probably about 20 years because Connor's gonna be 21.
So we were there. We were on a ghost hunt. This is in my ghost hunting days, and so we're going around the fort, and it's a decent sized fort, and we had been doing our investigating, and I do put that in air quotes because we really weren't investigating. And at one point, there's a big gate, and there's a walkway on top of this big gate, and Don and I were on top of there, just sitting, chilling, and we're looking out into the courtyard, and across the courtyard there's a big mound, and it's a casemate. It was the powder magazine, big mound of dirt, and it covers a big brick and concrete room where they kept all the powder. So in there, we hear like screaming.
It was so loud because it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Two of our friends
with flashlights, all you see,
with all of their gear, their ghost hunting gear, all strapped around them. Like we're talking like the big photographer's vest and everything's clipped to it, and they're running, and everything is flapping around
and flying.
It was hysterical watching them like run as fast as they could out of that place. And it turns out like one of them was looking through a night vision scope, and I'm pretty sure it was a moth that came up into the lens
and scared the crap
out of him. Shit out of him, or one of them. And because he screamed, the other one screamed.
And all they did was run.
And they did a dude run kind of thing out of there. And that was probably the funniest moment I can remember.
That we experienced, we watched. Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. I mean, I have stuff happen where like I realize I'm an idiot, you know, and I miss something and I'm like, oh, duh. But I don't think I can't recall. I mean, I'll keep thinking about it throughout the show, and we'll see. Maybe something will pop into my head.
Have you ever had a moment like where you've written something and then you go back and you think to yourself, oh man, I needed to do this thing, whatever that thing was, and you have to kind of go back and backtrack and do that thing to make the story better?
No, because I talk a lot, and I'm very detail oriented. So I when I tell a story, I usually tell it. I never have to backtrack on that. So
no,
at least that I know.
I thought like things that I should have done, or I should have looked up, or I should have after I've gotten this like a little bit, and I go, oh, so and Ben is also really good about saying, hey, you need to do this to make it better, and so that's. I mean, that's not funny, but that's just something that happens. So
it's interesting. It's always good to have someone else look at your work.
Oh yeah.
He does that with me a lot because he's my editor. I send him stuff, and even if I go to the print magazine, like I want to send it to him first because he usually adds in a different perspective, or he's very helpful with giving me other references that help build the case against something or for something. So, but I've done that a lot. Yeah, like once in a while, I give Donna an article and say, read this. You know, like just pretty much to make sure I'm not being a dick. Like especially if I'm going after someone specifically for something they said and that they were.
Yeah, if you're highly passionate about
deliberately deceitful, I want to make sure I am being professional. So I'll have her read it over first, and then I'll send it to Ben. And it usually goes from Ben to Barry, and then somebody will tell me if I screwed up. Right. That's always good to have. Definitely good to have.
Bob's in the house. Hey,
Bob's
Bob.
in the house.
Bob, you missed our giveaway thing.
Yeah. Did everybody put the secret phrase into the chat room?
I think we should put the phrase up one more time if people missed it, since the show's been so choppy.
All right, I'll allow it.
So
here it is, do it now.
If you write this phrase in the chat, then you will go into a drawing to win Neil deGrasse Tyson's new book, Starry Messenger. That is signed. It's a signed copy.
Go on. I'm not showing it again.
So anybody that didn't do it, you don't have to do it again, John Kennedy. You're not getting a second guess.
You're not getting a second name, John.
I see you, Red Man 2. Y'all trying it. Look. That's
they're
too
probably
funny.
they're just making sure.
I got you guys. Right. Okay. I'm getting some new ones. All right, good.
All right. Do we have another question? I can take it. You're
right. Here, I can grab it real quick.
Okay.
There's one for Daniel.
Oh, for Daniel. Anything you've witnessed that has brought you where you are today concerning the paranormal?
You mean like something weird or something spooky or just anything in general? I mean, I've a lot of, like, for example, James Randi's stuff where he did psychic surgery on folks and did a lot of the debunking of that. That was my background. I mean, I've never seen anything that's really now. Okay, So there is a story of our local college when I worked at where it is haunted, and that's the ghost of Sarah Louise Sis Lynn. And one of the jobs that I used to have, I used to go to the different county schools, and I would take financial aid information and so on and so forth. And like Webster County and Roane County, there were a pretty good distance to drive because the financial aid workshops would last until the nighttime. And so I came back, and one night I was going into Clark Hall, which is the building that Sarah Louise Sis Lynn is supposed to haunt. And I had my box of stuff, and I opened up the door. And when I opened up the door, the other door I thought opened. I thought the door opened, and I heard. Come to find it, I figured it out years later. And I went, and I was like, "Nope, not going in." So I turned around. And so years later, I figured out that it was because when I pulled this door open, it pulled the suction and it pulled it shut. But that was at that point, I was more interested in gathering the ghost stories, like just finding out what the ghost stories were rather than debunking.
Right.
And more in terms of folklore, not necessarily concerned with the actual truth of the matter, but the story itself. So that was the strangest. That as far as I can ever remember, that was the only thing I can think of as far as weird.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, I was the same way when I was more in my ghost hunter years, and I still do to a certain extent. But I used to collect all of the regional ghost story books.
Right. Yeah.
Like the shelves over here. I mean, those from the top to the bottom are all regional ghost story books. So everywhere I've traveled, I've collected the local haunts, and I love reading the stories. I love reading them and just understanding what people like. The history. I love the history of places, and then finding out what they claim to have witnessed, and then maybe if I can go to these places, figure out, what might have happened. So Scooby-Doo didn't push you in this direction.
Oh, actually, Scooby-Doo is one of my favorite shows. It has been all these years. Yes, I'm in your Scooby-Doo, the little mystery machine there. I keep looking in the background and seeing things like, oh, that's cool. I think
he's got so much stuff.
One of the games, one of my coworkers, Nicole, she comes in every time she comes down to chat about like a story or the next newsletter or something like that. She's like, it's so much fun to try to find all the mystery machines in here.
Right.
I have a bunch that are all over. And what's worse is that I move them
right
to keep it interesting. I move them around just so people can discover more stuff. But this is what you see here is just literally just a quarter of what's in this room. So there's tons.
Well, I saw on your fish eye.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was looking at it, I was going, okay, there's some Star Wars stuff. Millennium Falcon. But I have to say, I'm a Doctor Who fan, man. I that broke my heart that night that you said you weren't really too interested in Doctor Who. I was like, I don't know if we can be friends.
Think he does have something that's Doctor Who, though. I know you did.
Don't have.
Didn't you have the? I don't know the show either, but there was like a wand or something that he.
Oh, the sonic screwdriver.
Yes, the screwdriver.
Sonic screwdriver.
Yeah.
No, nope. That wasn't me.
We bought it as a gift. I think.
Yeah.
He needs one.
I don't have
screwdriver.
anything Doctor Who in here because I'm just not. I grew up watching the old Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And honestly, I only watched it because that was the only show on that I.
Yeah, he
at that time slot.
Right.
That's the only one I was like, all right, it's science fiction. I don't get it because it was just a little too UK for me, and I didn't understand what was going on sometimes.
Right.
But,
John Guy, how could you forget about us?
John Guy, what?
It's 8:51.
Yeah, John Guy. Yeah. What's up, Guy?
He forgot about the show.
John, dude. All right. Do we have another question? Maybe.
Sure.
Ooh.
Here we go.
This is good. This is fun. I like having like a co-host for this.
Who was your favorite magician? Oh well, I'm gonna say Harry Blackstone when I was young. That was that Harry Blackstone with the little disappearing bird cage that he did. That was really cool. My favorite magic trick. That's a good one. The Anderson torn and restored newspaper. Torn and restored newspaper was one of my favorites because you hold it up and it looks. I mean, it looks. If you were going to really do it, it looks real. I mean, and I always enjoyed doing that. I always like to get somebody who was kind of prudish and didn't really, and was kind of, and I had the trick where you take the two handkerchiefs and you tie them together and you sort of stuff it down here, and I put stuff and and then when I say, I'm going to pull this and pull it through your neck. And so what would happen is I'd reach on both sides and pull it, and a bra would be in the middle. And so, I always like to get people who were, clutching their pearls, like they were the kind that would clutch their pearls that wouldn't be.
That's pretty cool.
But and I did some mentalism too. I still do, where I work in the high school, I still do a bit of mentalism and magic tricks for the kids when I'm working with them periodically.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so
That's good.
Favorite magic trick, Anderson torn and restored newspaper.
I mean, for a magician, I like David Copperfield.
Oh yeah.
I've loved him forever. I love Penn and Teller. I think they're amazing. And for magic tricks, I like them all. We last year at the last SciCon that we went to David Copperfield's show.
He was unreal.
It was really good.
I didn't expect it. It was so good.
There was more of a story to it. Like it had a full story, like a beginning, middle, and end, and a plot and everything. So I'm not used to that.
Right.
I know magicians have sometimes they have an overall kind of theme, or a very quick story to push the tricks along, but this was really involved. And I mean, at the end of the show, a huge UFO appears in the theater.
Yes,
I mean,
out of nowhere, huge, right above our head.
And I was impressed. I was like, "Holy shit, that's really cool!" And I want to touch it. I want to go up and touch it. But I mean, when I'm saying big, it was like a third of the room. Easy. Yeah, it was just huge.
It just came out of nowhere.
Theater, so it was really cool, and
then flew down to the stage. Like it was weird. It was so awesome.
I mean, I always want to say Harry Houdini, but I don't really consider him a magician. I consider him an escape artist. So
I wish they had more of his stuff on film for us people that
Yeah, sadly. Yeah, they didn't. It wasn't widespread.
I know
at the time,
that would have been so.
It would have been nice. I mean,
David Copperfield was I mean, in terms of when I was really young, it was Harry Blackstone. But then as I got older, I actually would record and watch David Copperfield's and learned a few of tricks that he did by just going through them really, really slowly. Trying to figure out. And there was a rubber band penetration trick that he did. And I, wore the VCR tape out until I learned it. And so, the Statue of Liberty, when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear, for years, I couldn't find out. I couldn't figure it out. And I didn't have that connection with my one friend that was the magician back then. And so, I kept trying to figure it out. So finally, when I met him, he said, "You want me to tell you how he did it?" And I'm like, yeah, tell me. And so he told me, and I'm like, what? That's it? That's how he did it? That's
He actually told you. That's so cool.
So yeah, it was, and then it came out in a book called Big Secrets later. And so I was so disappointed.
That he told everybody.
No. I didn't. No, I haven't. I don't think I've told him.
Oh. No, I thought he said it came out later, or no?
Oh yeah,
in the book. Yeah, in that book. But
okay.
Around wouldn't buy that book,
right? They're usually, because they're expensive. When you try to buy magicians' books.
Yeah.
Because I know, our friend Mark Edward, he put out a book, and I want to get it, but it was just, I'm totally a flea market whore.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
used to like $1 a book. That's the max I pay most of the time, unless I go to like a conference. Like when I go to SciCon, I usually
that's
spend
different.
way too much money.
Mm.
But now I don't have to buy so many books because I have access to the entire CFI
The library, which is
down
great.
right below me, so I can go down and so it kind of took the fun out of trying to steal books from here because I don't have to steal anymore. They're all here.
Around here, there's just not that. I mean, in Charleston, in the state capital, there's a book fair once a year that the public libraries puts on. That I go to that, but there's not a lot of those kind of books just floating around, or even mystery.
Right.
I did find I think one of Joe Nichols' books at the last one, and I bought it. Paid like a buck for it or something like that. But they're just not that. They're few and far between around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Red Man wants to know if you're going to tell us how he did it.
I would say
Nope.
no. good
Yeah,
one.
I
I
didn't
didn't think
think
so
that
either.
All right, we got.
You want to do a break? Let's do our break early.
You want to do the break
Tim
early?
Vickers is in the
Tim
house.
Vickers in the
Good
house.
man.
About time, Tim.
Yeah, Tim's just in time for the pee break.
Tim
That
was
figures.
probably he was probably working late. Were you working late, Tim?
He's probably working late, maybe at the escape room.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take our break. So our pee break is going to come up. I'm going to start the video in a second or so, and that means you got about 3.5 minutes or so.
Sushi.
I
He
still
was
have to
eating
fix it.
sushi.
Somehow, when I redid the video,
Yeah.
the pee break video, I doubled it. It's like I'm looking at the time. That's why I screwed up. Like I hesitated last week. I'm like, why is it the time say 7 minutes and 50 seconds? Like holy shit!
So jealous. Tim's
don't worry,
eating sushi.
I'll,
Do you still have the good music?
I
It's
still
like
have.
the music.
I have
so I
the
can get down.
this week.
Okay, that's cool. I like that music.
So and it's still just. I think Tiffany had a problem with the spinny things. I didn't take that out. So don't watch it, Tiffany. Because I don't want you getting like all sick and stuff. But here we go. Pee break. I'll be back in 3.5 minutes from now. was good. That was good. Oh, I feel so much better after the break. I don't float as much. All right. How you doing, Daniel?
Doing all right. Got my Tom Baker 12-foot scarf. Just, this is, you want to know who I am, Doctor Who. This is how Doctor Who I am.
That's old school, right?
That's old school. I tried to find my
right.
sonic screwdriver too, man. I've got like 3 of them around here. And I tried to find that so I could, but alas, I couldn't find it real quick.
He sounds
like I
low.
said.
All right, cool. So we got some more questions, and we got the drawing coming up soon. Not yet, though. Soon. I'm going to make you wait a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe after the next question.
Maybe.
So
We'll see.
Lisa's got a question, and it's a double parter, so I have to put both pieces up.
A double parter?
Well, she
two-parter?
continued.
All right.
So,
we all hear about what's the harm. Ooh, I like this question so far. When people defend faith healers, Reiki practitioners, psychics, etc., it's like if someone believes. Is there part 2?
hold on.
Okay. To continue my question, if someone believes, some say, what's the harm? Well, fleecing people can be harmful. What do you think? You want to go first?
What if somebody has something that's really, really seriously wrong, and they think that a faith healer is going to? I actually know of an instance where we had someone locally who was an herbalist, and she did all these various and sundry types of treatments on people. She actually, there was a fellow who had cancer, and she gave him what was referred to as ECAC tea. ECAC is a I'd have to go back and look and see what it's the person's name spelled backwards that created the tea, I think, if I'm correct. But what you would do is they drink the tea, and then she would you'd have the little tea bag, because she made her own tea, which she sold, by the way. She sold all this stuff. And then you were supposed to put the tea bag on in this case, it was melanoma. And this fella died. And, he could have probably lived a bit more full of a life if he hadn't been relying on her and her treatments. Now she knew a lot of the flora and fauna around. She was really good with that sort of thing, and identifying the different plants and the different, that's something I'm interested in. And so, but then I come to find out that, she treated a number of people, but there's so many people that swear by her. She's gone now. That's the other thing. She sort of pops up, and then things happen, and then she leaves, and then she pops up someplace else, and then she leaves. But that's one of the things that I see as one of the major issues. What if something's really seriously wrong that could be better treated by a qualified physician?
Right. There's so many problems. I mean, what's the harm is a it's a big question. It really is, because there's so much harm that can be done. It's the physical, life-threatening harm that you're talking about here.
Right.
There's financial harm, and it's just, I mean, you can, when you have, say, like a psychic, somebody goes to a psychic because they're grieving over a loved one. Now they're going there, and this psychic says, I can communicate with your dead loved one. I can give you messages. And when people are in that state of mind, they are open, and they are an easy target, I guess. There's a word I'm missing here. They're vulnerable. That's what I was looking for. They are vulnerable, in a vulnerable state, and you pay out money, and you get this little slice of. It's almost like a drug addiction. You get this little slice of happiness because you think you're communicating with your parents, your children, or a friend or spouse or something that has passed away, and you leave there feeling excited and elated, and you're just happy, and that wears off, and that grieving process that is supposed to go through, is stalled, and you can't move on. So you get this idea like, oh, it made me feel good. Maybe I can go back again. One more time,
Right.
one more time, one more time. And that's where we get to the stories where we hear people spending thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars going into some debt or a lot of debt because they keep going back. And once the mark is made, you know, the person that's getting all this money from them will keep digging, keep coming up with reasons to, you know, charge more money. And then, yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true. I mean, I've seen people disregard science-based medicine in order to do some kind of homeopathic remedy,
Right.
you know, and when you do that, I can understand when you're at the end of the line. And I don't want to sound morbid here, and I hope I don't cross a line, but when you are at the end, when you have a terminal disease and everything
Is not working.
Totally understand if you want to try something new, or, you know, if there's people that try experimental stuff.
If you're sick of,
Right.
I mean, I went through chemo. It sucked. And every time, like, if I ever think about doing it again, I'm really torn. Like, I don't know if I want to go through that again. So I'm not saying I would try some herbal thing, but
I wouldn't let you.
I wouldn't want to do chemo again either. So
I hear you.
You know, what are your choices, you know?
Right. I guess it really comes into what's the harm is when
if she's saying, "Oh yeah, I can heal you," you know, then that's an issue.
Yeah, especially when they're saying, "Oh, I can heal your cancer." If you have cancer, something like that, some terminal disease, and they're claiming that they can heal you, then that's a problem. And I also see a problem when, and this is probably going to get touchy, but when parents or go to the homeopathic or herbal medicine and refuse the science-based medicine for their kids when it could help them. And some of this is personal belief. Some of it is faith-based, because we've seen cases, and I can't cite them off the top of my head, but you're welcome to go to the What's the Harm website, because you can definitely look up cases where people have had certain faith and they refuse medical treatment for their kids. And the kids die because something very simple, you know, like a very simple treatment that they could have taken like for a day or so, and the kids die. So when it comes to what's the harm, there's a lot of harm, and we should. I really want to get someone
same
on
with vaccinations. I mean,
same with vaccinations. Yeah, I mean, people refused vaccinations, and it made the pandemic worse. It really did.
And I have some really dear friends that just don't believe in, and family members that I love dearly who don't believe in the vaccines and so on and so forth. And it's hard sometimes. I mean, I just there's conversations that I avoid.
Exactly.
It's
going to be a fight, and you don't want to. Yeah, I know that.
It's difficult because I get really, it's one of the few things that really get me fired up, because if I hear someone talking about it and like going against saying don't do vaccines, they're the devil, or don't do science-based medicine. Here, try this. I wish Nick Little was here to say that. No, not amoxicillin.
I can't say it.
Macaulay. I want to say Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I know.
That's what the drug sounds like. It's the homeopathic stuff that doesn't the.
We have to get that. Didn't we put that on a thing for him?
We did. I do have a sound clip. Yeah. I gotta have that ready. But there's homeopathic medicine that it's not medicine. It's homeopathic bullshit that people trust because they see it in the drugstore next to the real medicine.
Next to medicine, right?
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this will work. This works. I swear by it." And the swear by it usually comes from a anecdote, you know, like maybe they had a cold, and at the end of their cold, they took a homeopathic sugar pill, and they were fine 2 days later. It's not because of the sugar pill; it's because you were already healing, and you were already ready on your way to recovery. So it just really pisses me off, and it's very difficult not to get totally confrontational. I mean, we were at a craft fair not too long ago, and somebody came up to Donna's booth and she was giving out brochures, and it was for like homeopathic and Reiki healings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
read the brochure and it said that it can cure cancer. And I flipped out on the lady. Like, how dare you bring this shit to me? You know?
Mhm.
And see, now I'm getting
Yeah,
getting
he's
worked
fired up.
I'm getting fired up. We got to change
Thanks,
the subject.
Lisa. Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So
So how's the weather there now? Is the storm calmed down? Is it
He makes me walk in the weather now. Like, not only do I have to stay up late on a Friday night, but now I have to trudge through the weather to and fro.
to and fro. Wow, you're getting
To
all
and
fancy.
fro.
Don't worry. Well, maybe if we move, or maybe during the summer, I'll set up a home studio. So
Yeah, I
can do
think we
this
need a
at
home studio, especially for bad weather.
Yeah, because even though it's like a short ass walk, here,
It's still cold and windy and
whatever.
My wife walked me all around Denver one year. I never will let her forget that. We went out there up to a conference, and there was a restaurant, and we wanted to go to this restaurant. She's like, "Oh, we could walk," and I swear we walked through places that you should not walk through. No. It was not, and we were just I hurt all the rest of the trip because of that. But
because of that walk, yeah.
I never will. Now it's on YouTube forever for people for her to remember that you made me walk.
That's awesome. All right, so do we have another question?
Yes.
Maybe. What do we got here? Oh, Melanie. Hey, Mel. What's up?
She
Oh,
should
don't
be
worry.
getting some storms this weekend too, I think.
The ghost hunt I'm going on tomorrow. I'm going to wear your shirt, Melanie. All right. So, have you ever discovered mold as a cause of a haunting, or knew of any that did? That's is it? I haven't come across that personally.
Not
But
anything that caused.
I'm reading this, and it's triggering it's triggering some kind of memory. I know I'd read about it before, but I don't recall any of the details.
What about mold?
It wasn't like the stuff that I do remember. Like, I remember there was a case that was carbon monoxide poisoning, and it was Kerry Poppy from Ross and Kerry. She had an instance.
I don't remember mold.
I don't remember anything that had to do with mold. You come across anything like that?
No, not. I'm not familiar with anything of that nature at all. I mean, there's, I guess, psychedelic mushrooms that could cause some hallucinations, maybe, but that wouldn't be the growing of
some of them.
So I haven't. I mean, I've always had this fascination with hallucinating.
Right.
Never hallucinated.
Now he's got to follow up real quick.
There's a guy from the University of Nebraska who was studying it.
Mold.
That would be interesting. That would be
maybe we can look at that.
Yeah,
and Melanie, I mold and fungi. I know they're two different things, but that's they kind of places. But
John Guy, fun guy.
Fun guy.
John Guy is a fun guy. I'll have to look into it. Donna wrote it down, so I'll look it up this weekend. Also, did
so you said you had these things with with hallucinating?
So I've always wanted to hallucinate. I've just never been able to. A friend of mine that he was a veteran. He had very, very bad PTSD, and he grew his own mushrooms, and he grew all kinds of strands. And I had talked to him about it, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I got you." And he had given me something, and he's like, "Here, this will guarantee it'll make you hallucinate." So I took it, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. Didn't get it high, didn't get anything. And then I went back and told him, and he was like, I don't know why, this was totally enough for you. So he gave me enough. We were going on a trip, and he gave me enough for 3 people. A different strain that he guaranteed was going to do it again. And
he didn't share.
I didn't share. I took it all.
He took it all. He did not share. I've never had mushrooms.
So I took enough of this mushroom for 3 people. to have a nice trip, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. So I've never been able to do it legally.
Right.
And I still want to. I want to explore that. I want to be able to see something that I know is not real, and be like, oh, cool.
All the pretty colors.
Yeah, pretty colors. I want to see stuff coming off the walls and floating around. I want to see all that, but I don't know. We'll see.
I got another.
What I wanted to say real quick is that I did put, let's see, Tea and Spirits asked about something about looking at vids, looking at some of my videos for any homeopathic stuff. I put a link in the chat room that goes to the video that I did do where I make homeopathic rum because that's my jam. And I still have the bottle. That's here. So if you watch the video, you'll know what I mean. So I just wanted to get that out of the way and on to the next question.
Okay, I'm working here, but here we go.
Donna's working behind the scenes. Adrian, what's up, girl? What did you think of the Piff the Magic Dragon magic show at SciCon? Sounds very different from Copperfield.
Oh, it was very different.
Yeah, it was different. I did like it. I think he's funny. I think he's very funny. And it was pretty good. I mean, it was a different kind of show, definitely. They both told stories. Piff is more comedic, and he does that. He has that knack for being able to insult people, but not seriously. To kind of make fun of them and poke fun of them in a fun way, not a mean way. So he has that going from where David Copperfield was more like, let's focus on this story. He has an entire story about a little alien and like how I think his father was involved with like almost like an Area 51 thing. So it was very cool. Different shows, but still I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. So there you go. All right.
Here's just a statement.
Mushrooms are hopefully going to be legal for PTSD in California soon. I hope so.
I think they're already in Oregon.
I'm pretty sure what I took was legal. I hope so.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it had to be because where I was working, they had mandatory drug tests, and my buddy passed all the time. So I'm pretty sure whatever they tested for was not this. But it didn't work anyway. So.
There's a statement.
Randy Ford. What's up, Randy? My two favorite magicians were Mike Skinner and Fred Capps. I do not know that.
I don't either.
I've heard of Fred. I think I've heard of Fred Capps, but I'm not familiar with Mike Skinner.
Okay. I have a bunch of. I really need to read them. I have a bunch of magicians books actually up a little bit up there with my Houdini books. So one of these days I'll get to reading them. Maybe I'll learn some tricks. Mr. Piffles. So Piff had energy. Oh. So we have he knows. Piff had energy. That's good. That's the first from the show.
Mr. Piffles, yes, was there.
Mr. Piffles was there, yeah.
He's so freaking cute.
I worry about Mr. Piffles. I do. I look at him and I think to myself that I mean I know the dog is well cared for, but he looks so frail and so I mean I hope that he lasts a very long time.
Yeah. I hope so. Tim Vickers, as your attorney, I need to advise you to stop talking about your alleged consumption of illegal.
May or not.
Oh, I do have legal counsel here, and if he knew half the shit I do,
he knows probably
in this building.
Yeah, right. That wouldn't work.
Like we have. Oh, can you hand me the helmet?
Oh.
Like one of my coworkers is always the volunteer when I need something like a video, and I have like a specific helmet
Safety
for her.
First.
Safety first that she wears when things get little iffy,
a little dicey,
and like there's been wheeled carts and other stuff, but we don't tell Nick until afterwards, so it's already done, and then we try to get his opinion before or after before we tell him we actually did it, which is usually don't do it, but the deed is already done.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yes, that's right. As long as nobody gets hurt, we're still good. My mushroom Gary. That's right.
That's to keep you from bouncing off when you go up to the ceiling and hit the ceiling. It
Right.
protects you.
So he doesn't float away.
Yeah. And if he does, bang, he's got a protection.
There you go. Safety first.
That's my safety first. There you go. I'm ready to go. Wow, really accents my double chin.
Yeah.
I'm going to
pretty
take this
tight.
off because it's tight. It's made for a little person. I can't get it off. There we go. But yeah,
Okay.
like I've had her wear a helmet and safety goggles. So, but it's fun. We always have fun here. All right, Bob. Hey, Bob. About time you spoke up. Always my favorite question to ask a guest. What is the most recent book you have read? I am reading Social Engineering. Kenny, I think you'd be interested in that book. Cool.
Oh, I have read that. You posted that the other day on your feed. I think I have read that book. There's, it's really
engineering.
good. Yeah, it's Brian Brushwood. Are you familiar with Brian? He does Scam School, Scam Nation, and he has a whole thing on social engineering. And if you haven't, he's in Austin, Texas, I believe. Not related to the book that you're reading, but on social engineering, he does all these things, social engineering at the bar and in public, and so on and so forth, to win free drinks and whatnot. But again, I hate to do this. It's Ben Radford's book, Big If True.
God, enough. All right.
I know. I'm sorry.
What?
You don't have to kiss his ass.
Yeah.
I know, but
He's not even here.
I swear I can go pick it. It's like right beside my chair. I can go pick it up.
He's not here.
I can't help it, man. I'm sorry. You know,
Wait till he's in the chat room before you suck up.
I can't lie. It's the truth. It's the book that I'm reading, and I'm also reading a book on ethics actually. So, but yeah, no, that's the book that I'm reading. Honest to God, that's the book I'm reading right now.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm ed up with it. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I
Okay,
mean,
here's a question.
things happen. I mean, I just finished. Was it Expose Yourself by
Did you
Aaron
finish
Lewis?
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished it. And I actually have to go on and write a review because I don't write reviews until I'm absolutely done. But It was great. I have to recommend it because it is a good book. It tackles religion and like being raised in a Christian household, but looking back at the rules and stuff like that and how people look at you and how family look at you. And she just takes it on in a very matter-of-fact kind of way. I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and it's totally her. It's not an act. It's not like a voice you put on when you write something and try to be professional. It is
right.
her, like through and through. And I love it. So I definitely recommend it. And that's not a free plug. I'm not a shill. I'm not getting paid for it.
Okay, here we go.
Isn't social engineering just lying?
Well, kind of. No, sometimes it's just making it's like magic. So except it's like the Force. These are not the droids you're looking for, sort of thing. So you're getting people to do things because they are just inclined to do them based upon what they're seeing. So yeah, there is an element of deceit to it. But like, for example, if you put on a hard hat or if you put on a vest, like a with the reflect vest, and you carry a white hard hat, not
Oh, white one. Not a black one, Kenny.
like a lineman's hat, like you would have if you're working on an electric line.
Oh wait, he has one of them.
I do have one of those. I don't know where it is, but I do have one.
If you carry a clipboard, and you have that reflective vest on, and you're dressed in like a white shirt or a blue shirt, and then and maybe some khakis, you can pretty much walk around and ask people stuff and they'll just assume that you're supposed to be there. I'll give you an example. One time, I used to work for a community mental health center, and one of the things that I would do would be go to a hospital, and when there were people that had been admitted for suicide attempts, I would go in and I would talk to, do the evaluations and so on and so forth. Well, as it turns out, there was a different situation when I went to a different hospital, and I walked in. Wasn't representing myself as anything other than just someone that was there to visit the grandmother of a friend. And so I walked in, and I was dressed like I normally dress, and I walked up to the nurse's station, and I asked what room that this lady was in, and they handed me her chart. They just reached over and they said, and they handed me her chart. And so I'm like, okay. So I just flipped it open and looked at it and pretended like I was reading, and was like, okay, thank you. And I just handed it back and went on. Just, the expectation, if you present yourself in a certain way, it's social engineering. And yeah, there's tricks that they use, like, for example, to get people to give passwords, calling people up saying that you're from your IT department.
Right.
There's all these different tricks that they have and things that they use. Some social engineering involves penetration testing to try to get into a building where I know that didn't sound very good.
Okay, we just took a turn.
Penetration testing is when you try to break into a system or break into a building. You're testing the security measures for the computer system so you're doing specifically, there's black hat hackers, and then there's red hat hackers, and so on and so forth. But you're using these different techniques to try to get information so that you can use it for whatever purpose, nefarious or otherwise, that you're looking for. But anyway, so yeah, there is a bit of lying to it, but there's also a bit of just subterfuge of letting people think what they want to think.
So that's what when I looked it up, it sounds like it up here, and it says social engineering is the tactic of manipulating, influencing, or deceiving a victim in order to gain control over a computer system or to steal personal and financial information. It uses psychological manipulation to trick users into making security mistakes or giving away sensitive information.
Right. Yep.
It's interesting. It makes me think. Years and years ago, I would do urban exploration. So exploring abandoned sites. And there was a mansion it had been built, but never finished on the inside, but it was in the middle of a neighborhood. And I wanted to take a look. I wanted to look inside. So Tim would probably advise me not to say this, but I dressed up in a suit.
Yeah.
And I had a clipboard, and I pulled into the driveway. Yep. And I was like, all right, I'll just pull in here. I got out. I looked at the place. I wrote some gibberish down, and then walked right in, and came out. A neighbor came over, said, hey, what's going on? I said, I'm just coming in here to evaluate the property. That's it. Just taking a look, taking some notes down. I'm going to write it down, write it up. And that's all I said. And they're like, oh, cool. And they start telling me about it and the history of it and who built it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. Not a problem. Nobody suspected anything. And that was when I was quite young. So young and stupid, but not that stupid because I got in.
You social engineered yourself into that building. So
yeah, that's cool.
There's also like lock picking and things like that. There's that, depending upon what you're doing, bump keys and things of that nature, which lock picking is still something that's a hobby of mine, because at school people lock their filing cabinets all the time, and the custodian will come around and say, hey Daniel, can you go unlock so-and-so's filing cabinet for him, or can you unlock this? So it's a handy skill to have. You can use your powers for good.
There you go.
That would be a cool skill to have.
That would be.
To pick some locks.
I watch the YouTube videos on different locks, and I watch them. And there was one that I'm dying to try, because I watched them take a paper clip, or actually two paper clips, and hammer down the end of the clip, and
Mhm.
put grooves in it, and then did the other one where they hammered it down flat and then put the bend in it, and they were picking locks. And I was like,
Right.
wow, I wonder. I have paper clips.
I know, right? I'm like, oh.
Like that's my first thought. Like I have some. I can.
We're gonna have to do a scientific
we're gonna have to
study
do
on that.
an experiment or two.
We
to
could
see
do
if we
that.
can pick them
Not
up.
all locks are created equal, though. Some of those, if you're going to use the paper clip, particularly, there's actually these kits that you can get that have clear locks.
Oh.
That show
Oh, so
you
you
that
can see the
so
inside?
you can see the little pins. So you can practice and you can make it more. Lockpicking lawyer, amazing fella. Yeah, he's great. So yeah, you can get the little clear lockpicking kits.
Tim's got his little TARDIS.
Yeah, I love
That's
it.
funny.
See, when I saw that, when he emailed me, when I saw him for the first time, I was like, yes, a kindred spirit.
That's gonna be great. I can't wait till you guys meet and
Oh, it's gonna
see
be great.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Here's one more follow-up.
All right. Is cold reading a form of social engineering?
Well,
Bob says yes.
cold reading can be seen as a form. Cold reading, there's a okay. One of the things that I do, I'm a counselor, and of course, having all that with mentalism from the past too. There's cold readings. I would use some of the techniques of cold reading in therapy with folks, not to mislead them to think that I had some psychic insight into it, but just to reflect back to them. Because when you identify feeling, when you paraphrase what they're saying, when you can put the word on the feeling that they're experiencing, that helps to establish rapport. And there's times when I might say something. Well, I bet there was a time in your life when you felt like you may have wanted to hurt yourself previously. And am I right about this? Is that something that you would say would be true? And they'd say, yeah. And I'd go on and I'd explain, well, that's not unheard of. That's normal for a lot of people to do. So yeah, it's cold reading. I think
I would venture to say yes too, because it's you're manipulating people into believing that, well, one, you have this setup where you prime the person. You either tell them up front that you are psychic or a medium in this case, and or if they come to your shop, it's already set up. You have that, they're walking into your environment, which primes them for what you want them to believe. And when you start cold reading and then you're fishing, you're regurgitating stuff back to them, just rephrasing it and asking questions that if you get a hit, they're believing it. So I think it's a continuing thing where you are manipulating them into believing that you are talking to their deceased loved ones for financial gain.
Right.
Because you're getting something out of it. So, I mean, I would lean to yes. Go ahead.
It's like Susan Gerbich's video series on grief vampires where she's talking about those folks. That's exactly what you're talking about. They pull that in. They use Barnum's, well, not Barnum statements exactly, but to pull that information and develop that rapport. That's the thing. It's that when you develop that rapport with a person and then they start to trust you, and then they betray that trust. That's just not cool, man. Just not cool.
That's not cool,
it's
man.
True. It's
that
not
sucks.
Cool. That's when they cross the line.
Yeah, exactly.
But they go into it knowing they're going to cross the line. That's
right. And it's deliberate manipulation. It's deception. Yeah. I mean, that was a good question. I like that. All right.
How about book giveaway time?
Book giveaway time?
I think so. It's like 9:36.
9:30. All right, let's do that.
I think we should.
Let's do it. All right. So all the names are in the hat here. You can see. We're going to see who wins. Who do you think? Any psychic predictions?
Oh, yeah. Psychic
Daniel,
predictions.
Who do you think is going to win?
Melanie.
Oh, she's not in it.
Oh,
Is she
not?
not?
She didn't do it.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
See, wait a minute.
Oh, it's
She
like-
already has a book. Maybe
the name
it's
begins
like
with an M. It's a strong M. I'm getting an M. That's why I went with Melanie. But
an
Oh,
M.
okay.
Oh,
You're going
strong
with an M.
M.
Melanie.
Totally cool.
Mark.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Only one. Make sure it's just one.
I have.
It's like
one.
Highlander. There
All
can
right,
be
I have one. I have one, and the winner is Lisa Ferguson.
Oh, Lisa with the
Lisa
question tonight.
Ferguson. Yeah,
Woohoo!
there you go. So you win. You'll get it. Send me a message. Give me
with
your
your
mailing
address.
so that I can send the book out to you. I'm going to put it right here in there so I know it's you.
Woohoo!
There you
She's
go.
still listening.
Yay! Awesome. Everyone else, thanks for playing. I appreciate it. See you later. Good night.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have some other cool gifts
Yeah,
as
maybe we
giveaways
will,
in the
'cause
future.
I have a connection now. That,
Yeah.
where I got these books has maybe mentioned that there might be more and different stuff coming along. Wink, wink. So stay tuned. I might have many more prizes to give away in the future. So there you go.
Here's a quick one. How is Susan's name spelled? Gerbic.
Gerbic. Susan Gerbic.
Gerbic.
She
Yep.
usually pops in. But yeah, that's her last name, and check her out. She also has a website called abouttime.com. And oh boy, it's getting late. So yeah, you can check her out. She just did a YouTube channel.
Yeah, there was a new video just yesterday. Was it yesterday that the new one came out?
I have not seen it. I haven't seen the new one yet, but yeah, let me oh wait, here's the channel. I'm gonna put the link to
Yeah, she's got a lot of good information out there.
Wait, that's your article. What am I doing here? She shared your article. I went there first. Okay. Is that it? YouTube. Oh, I think that's it. Susan.
Kenny's doing some research here, guys.
It is. Hold on. Psychics Explained. That's her new YouTube channel.
Okay.
So
Psychics
I got the link,
Explained.
And yep. And I put it in the chat room now. So you guys can check it out. It should be coming through in a few seconds. What else we got? What else?
We have a few more questions.
A few more questions? Let's do a few more questions then. I'm having fun.
Red Man?
Red Man. Did Zach maybe eat a bad sandwich that led him to being possessed?
Is that what was going on with him?
No, I don't know what's going on. There's some paradrama going on. Apparently, like everyone that worked with him.
Susan's like, are you talking about me?
Oh, Susan!
She pops in. Boom.
How you doing? Yeah, we just shared your
shared
YouTube,
your link.
Channel, your new YouTube channel, and we're talking about you. Somebody asked about spelling your name, so there you go. Gerb. Thank you. So yeah, we're talking about you.
Yeah, you go. Tea and Spirits.
In a good way.
Right on the show.
In a good way. That's right. All right. So what else we got? We got any more questions? Tea and Spirits. Fire. EMF and fear cage phenomena. Including hallucination, hasn't come up much in the paranormal community since the early days of ghost hunters. Question: is it really a thing? So
Fear cage.
EMF and fear cage. I remember the fear cage.
Yeah, the fear cage was where they have all the electrical wires that are running around an area, and they I think they made the statement that that's what they called it on the Ghost Hunters on the show. And I don't think that there's any evidence to support that, but I may not. I mean, I don't know for absolutely certain, but I don't think there's any evidence to support it.
There's a few things I want to say about that. So I don't remember. I remember hearing the fear cage thing, and it's been years since I've seen that. I don't know if I actually saw the episode or not, but like the first thing that comes to mind is that they built a contraption to actually have an effect on someone. And where did they have like medical personnel standing by? Like this is a legit experiment that they were doing on people.
I remember that now that you're talking about it.
Now
It's
that
coming
thought
back.
is in my head. Like, should they have been doing this? I don't know. Also, I don't know about putting how much power was going through the cables. How many cables were there? Because we're surrounded by power cords all the time. There's electrical wiring go through this whole office. Fear cage, isn't that where it was believed that EMF can mess with your brain? Yeah. But I wonder like how big the cage was too. I don't remember. So I'm speculating like crazy here. So I just want to put that out there as I'm talking. But like how big was the cage? Again, like I'm surrounded right now. I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of electrical equipment.
Right.
There's wires everywhere. There's power cords all behind the monitors here and up the side here. I got power going through here and power over here. So I never experienced fear. And again, I don't know if it's the same on the same ground as what they were doing in that show. I had to go back and look. I'm going to write it down because I want to explore that. I want to go back and look at that again and see what they were doing and how they were doing it. And actually, I'll just, you know what? It was Ghost Hunters?
Yeah,
right?
it was
Ghost
Hunters.
I'll ask
him. Yeah, we can talk to Jason about
I'll ask Jason himself. Go ahead.
There's an area in West Virginia that's for people who it's a quiet zone, EMF quiet zone for the radio astronomy that's done. And there's a lot of people that move to that area. I won't say a lot, but there's people that move to that area specifically to avoid EMF. Like any type of you're not allowed to have certain types of devices or anything if you live in that area specifically because of that quiet zone. And people move there to avoid that. Green Bank, yeah, that's up next to Green Bank. So, yeah. But again, I have this, and I may be wrong. I mean, the thing that will change my mind the quickest is somebody to say, no, here's an article that says that's legitimately researching. But I haven't read anything where there's a lot to that. To what I've read, it's more psychosomatic. But no, people were going to say, no, I really experienced that. And if they have that belief that they do. But
I come across like Persinger and his work with the God helmet.
Yeah. That's different.
Yeah. But that was a EM pattern that was on
magnetic. Transcranial magnetic stimulation. Yeah.
That was directly on your head, not in a cage. And I mean,
didn't we do that at the Shanley?
That was a completely different thing. Yeah.
Wasn't that
the guy tried to?
It was like
represent it, but all he did was use the magnets out of headphones, which it was dumb.
But that's what he was on the.
Yeah.
It was on the same lines. Is that right?
Like, if I put these magnets on your temples, we should be able to induce the same effect. I'm like, no, they're headphone magnets. People wear them all the time. It's not going to work. But they were specific patterns that induced feelings. So I mean those.
You're right. Yeah,
it's not the same as I think what we're talking about here. Plus, I want to see what the fear cage is all about because I mean, if depending on how it was built, I would expect it to be more of a Faraday cage kind of thing. If the wires are on the outside, I don't know what would happen there. I have no idea. So, what was that comment?
Oh, the copper
pipes and such. I think wasn't it like they were copper pipes running next to the electrical wires? And Grant and Jason were there. I think that Grant is the one that used the term fear cage. I can't remember.
Oh, well, that explains it. I do not like that guy. Yeah, I don't like him at all. I think he is responsible for faking stuff. Cough, cough. Question, Kenny, any chance to have Jason back on some Friday? Sure.
I'm sure we could.
I mean, I can always reach out to him. I thought about having him back on because he was a fun guest to talk to, and we could do that. I know there's going to be a couple times coming up that we're going to see him this year, so we'll see if we can't sit down for like a one-on-one. But yeah, I might reach out to him, see if he'll come back on the show. So yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I want to ask him about the fear cage. Now I got to go back.
Yeah, I know. Now we got to watch it because we were talking about it
first, and then reach and call him and say, "Hey, what is this shit?"
Do you remember? Well, it was a long time ago too.
Right.
So, okay, so this
I think the name of the episode, if I'm not mistaken, I think the episode was Fear Cage. If I think because, I'm one of those people that watches every episode of everything over and over. I've watched every episode of Finding Bigfoot numerous times. I've watched every episode of Mountain Monsters numerous times. I've watched every, and I was so aggravated because recently they just took off on the Discovery Channel. They took off all the classic ghost hunters. It's like all the 1 through whatever. Now it's just season 12 and 13. And I went to look for something the other day. I was like, where did they all go? They're gone. So
yeah, it looks like the episode was called The Fear Cage.
Yeah,
and it took place in Gettysburg.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So yeah, I looked it up real quick. It has, what is it here? It says cast. I'll have to look up the episode. Yeah, I think I have all the seasons on DVD. They were gifted to me, and so I have them all, so I can watch them. So yeah, guess what we're doing tonight? No, I gotta get up.
Tonight is not a good night for that.
But I might do it anyway. All right. Next question. What's your top 5 recommended books for new and seasoned skeptics? Oh. Really? Because
I know what you're gonna say. I know what he's gonna say.
Books from that Rafford.
Mr. Rafford and Rafford's books.
We're gonna do Scientific Investigation by Rafford. We're gonna do Chupacabra by Rafford. We're gonna do Media Fakes by
He's not gonna like you.
And that stupid clown book. No, I'm kidding, Ben.
I just didn't like the cover for that. I just didn't like the cover on that book at all.
Yeah, you can say what you want. I don't edit.
Me? Okay. Well, okay.
Really,
Paranormal Investigation by Joe Nickel. I can't remember all the titles off the top of my head, but what I would do is go and look up anything by Joe Nickel and anything by Ben Radford, and those are the ones that I would read, and go from there. But plus, I would read anything on mentalism that you could find.
Yeah, it's a good one
because there's so much. I mean, there's a whole section of
Flim Flam. Susan says.
Flim Flam. Oh yeah, Flim Flam's an excellent book. Flim Flam, The Faith Healers by James Randi, The Mask of Nostradamus by James Randi. You
have plenty to read, John Guy.
There's a book by Ian, I can't remember his last name, on cold reading that I read not too long ago.
Full facts book. The full facts book of cold reading. Yeah.
Psychic Mafia, Demon Haunted World is wonderful. Books by Michael Shermer, Why People Believe Weird Things.
I love Psychic Blues.
There's just so many things. But there's this whole genre of magic that's called bizarre magic or spooky magic. And so what you do is you create ghostly effects with bizarre magic. There's a whole book there's a whole section I have it back there on just bizarre magic. So doing things with seance, creating seance effects, those sorts of things. Any of that stuff is good stuff. Good stuff.
Those are all good. I love them.
Did you read the
Demon Haunted World?
Oh yeah, Demon Haunted World. I love that.
What was that about?
That's Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan. Yeah,
beautiful. I mean, his writing is like just awesome. I mean, it's very it reminds me of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. So it'd be like an easy read for me. It wouldn't be like over my head.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it'll be great. I think, and I have it up on the shelf.
Maybe I'll put it on my list.
But yeah, he has a very good way of writing, of speaking, of breaking it down into a simple way that's not necessarily dumbing it down, but it is dumbing it down. so that everyone can understand it.
Right.
And very, very nice.
He has that one quote that's in Demon Haunted World about where a lot of people say it was almost prophetic about in terms of how we are in the world today with misinformation and so on. So, and I can't remember it precisely, but it's so insightful. Absolutely so insightful.
It's very nice. And then I would also add, let's see, one of my favorite, like I hate saying it, but yeah, I have investigating, or what is this? Scientific Paranormal Investigation by Ben Rafford. I love it. It really, really is one of my go-to books. But I also, one of my favorite Joe Nickel books is Camera Clues.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. It's very much, it's from the birth of photography all the way up until digital started. Right before digital consumer products came out. But it covers the entire photography history. And it's also the book that the entire first chapter was plagiarized by Troy Taylor and Zach Baggins. So, it's good when people steal your shit, but it's really good. I love it. Also, Scientifical Americans by Sharon Hill. I also love that because it's very, it looks at all the amateur groups out there and how they're investigating. Richard Feynman, yes. I also saw somebody, Carolyn, I think, mentioned the Skeptic's Handbook of Parapsychology. I have that. I've read through most of it. It's very good. I have it on the shelf back here. I love that. There's so many books. Just trying to narrow it down to top 5.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard.
Impossible because there's so many. What do you got? I have a signed copy of Orchard.
Use that your little dig, Carol. Come on. I wanted to remind him, like, he really needs to get back on that book.
I know.
Didn't we set a deadline, Kenny?
I did.
If you would do that book, then I could say, you mean, it's
I know, right? There's so many people that haven't read it.
You know what? I'll finish it as long as it bumps Rafford out.
All right, I will do that.
That's his goal now. Kenny's got a goal.
Wait a minute. No, I can't do that. He's the gatekeeper on my article. I can't do that.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can, Daniel.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you have, Carolyn, you have one of the very few copies because I don't even have any left. I have my own. I have the original copy, which is pre-print. Because it was just a mock-up. So I have that, and then I have one for me. And I think I did have one. The last one that I had, I gave to Tim for the library.
But so we do have to. I thought about that the other day. I'm glad Carolyn brought it up because, boom.
Oh, what was that? You right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Boom. We needed sound effects. I didn't have any.
All right. So we're almost at the end of the show.
Okay.
You got any more questions? John Kennedy, what are we getting? When are we getting another episode of K&D Adventures? You guys live by Niagara Falls, Lake Placid, etc., etc.
We're talking about it. They're in the works.
You have to understand, it's freaking cold and it snows like every other day up here.
So the weather has to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
But we are making a list because we have found a lot of things up here that are going to be great topics for you guys. So we would really like to get back into that.
I mean,
so it's coming.
When we went to the devil's, I want to say devil's anus.
The devil's
hole cave. Yeah.
Yeah. When we almost got killed.
That was a scouting mission because I wasn't sure. I mean, it's just, wasn't sure if we could actually get in the cave because everything that I read said it was already blocked off. Fenced off. We couldn't get in. So if we couldn't get in, it really wouldn't be a great video because it'd be like, oh, well, there's the cave opening. That's it. We can't go any further. But yeah, so we are planning. We do have a lot of places, but we're just waiting for it to get warmer and just better weather that we can get outside. Because seriously, like every other day, it snows here.
We got it. Yeah, it's like the grass just showed up yesterday. I finally got my yard back.
There are just holes in the snow where you can see the grass.
No. I mean, yesterday the grass was all there. It all came
Yeah.
back. And then literally less than 24 hours. Now I have like at least 5 inches out there.
Yeah.
Snow.
There's a lot. So once that weather clears, we'll
Yeah,
we'll be out.
we're
We'll
definitely going to be get out
'cause there's
there.
a lot of places out here that we want to visit. I've marked them off. Like Atlas Obscura is one of my favorite websites. So I've looked at all the places. There's a ton of like allegedly haunted places out here that I want to visit. One of the books, it's actually on top of my files here, is all about the local legends and stuff. So I have dozens and dozens of places.
Yeah,
just
it's
for
going to be,
that.
it is
So
going to be fun
when we
when we
the
get
weather
back
breaks,
to it. Yeah.
we'll be out every weekend. So
One more quick question for Daniel.
you read Pale Blue Dot. Ooh.
You read Pale Blue Dot. Pale Blue Dot. I'm familiar with the video of the Pale Blue Dot where Carl Sagan is narrating, but I've not read a book called Pale Blue Dot.
So yeah, I have. Do I have it? I don't know if I have that. I'm not sure.
I don't remember hearing it. John Guy says it was awesome.
I'm going to put that down on my list of things to do.
We're writing it down. Pale Blue Dot.
Pale Blue Dot.
Make sure we got it.
Which that Pale Blue Dot, that's have you watched that video of where Carl Sagan narrates?
Yes.
You get that's again,
Yeah.
that's just is amazing.
Yeah, I think I do have that.
It's the sequel to
Shadows.
Shadows of
Now I gotta
Forgotten
look.
Ancestors.
I have all my Carl Sagan stuff here. No.
And here's another book, Skeptic's Handbook of Parapsychology by Paul Kurtz. Is that the one Susan was talking
Skeptic's
about?
Handbook
Yeah, I
for
think so.
Parapsychology. I do have that. I have.
Kenny's got so many books.
I got so many books, and they're all out of order.
Yeah, he needs to reorganize.
I need to go through and organize them a
I
little bit
could
better.
do that for you.
No.
Okay. All right. No,
Okay.
good to know.
All right. Are we good on questions? I think we're good.
Yeah, we're definitely
are
caught
good.
up on questions.
All right.
It was a great show, guys.
That was good.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel, for being
Oh,
on.
Yeah. Thanks for
Absolutely.
hanging out.
I appreciate it. I do. I really do.
Not
I've had
only
a good
thanks for hanging out, but also thanks for taking over.
Yeah,
and keeping
taking
it
over the
going for
show.
a few minutes.
And send us your address, because
Yeah, you have to send me
Okay.
your mailing address so I can send you out the book.
All right.
We also need Lisa, right?
Yeah, Lisa,
to
yep.
send the address.
she will.
So I can
She's
do
in
that.
the chat.
Quick announcements. Don't go anywhere. Let's see. Well, tomorrow I'll be at the Shanley, so I'll be at the Shanley Hotel investigating the ghosts to see if there's any there, and I'll be wearing a certain shirt from a certain Melanie to see if there's any ghosts, because I hope there's some ghosts this time.
Yeah.
I hope she's still
He
watching.
packed it, Mel.
She's probably in
She's
bed.
probably sleeping.
Yeah. So after that, let me see what the announcements are. I have a few things coming up.
John, you're so funny.
Let's see. Oh, the May 14th. May 14th, right? Yeah, May 19th to 21st. That's it. Is the Rochester. Oh, wait, no, I'm screwed up. I'm totally screwed up here. May 12th to 14th is the Rochester Paranormal Conference.
You
I'll
don't
be
have
up
your
there.
notes. You have to put them up on the screen.
I know. I have to put. I need to do.
We have to redo that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be out in Rochester, New York, May 12th and 13th, maybe the 14th. I'm not sure yet. Then the next weekend, we are going to be at Penhurst.
Oh crap! Yeah,
Penhurst
you're right. I
Power
think
Camp.
we are.
Yeah, we got 2 paranormal conventions 2 weeks in a
Oh
row.
yeah.
That's a lot. But we'll be down there. That's in Pennsylvania. We'll be set up for that. And then coming up July 14th to 16th is the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. We'll be out there. Bob's announcements.
They're on hiatus.
I don't have a special guest one. Let me see. Wait, I think I do still have. Wait. There we go.
Squid Bob's
announcements.
We just don't have them updated.
And then let's see, September, October is SciCon, October 26th.
We finally got the
29th.
dates.
We got the okay. We got the go ahead. I will be out there. Donna will be out there.
Yeah.
We will be out there in Las Vegas, Nevada.
So come visit if you can.
Sneak peek or like a scoop, because nobody knows. But I'm gonna be doing a workshop, teaching people how I investigate stuff. So There
Melanie
you go.
Tressa King might be there. Maybe. I don't know.
And then November
John Guy's coming. Woohoo!
November 3rd to 5th is the New Jersey Para-Unity Conference. We'll be out there. Set up. We'll be set up for the day. Oh, it's a 2-day event this time. This is the first time it's a 2-day event. So we'll be set up
Yeah,
for
we
that
got to
too.
work on that.
So there's our announcements. I'll try and work on this week. I'll work on Bob's announcements so they come up better.
Yeah.
But everyone, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling with us, for asking the questions, putting the comments out there, putting the topics out there.
Yeah,
it was great. Special thanks to Daniel for hanging out all night. And
I appreciate it. I really do. I really do.
Anybody that is in the West Virginia area and you were thinking maybe I would love to join a skeptics group, it just so happens that he has one starting. So
March 18th. March 18th, the first meeting at Panera Bread in Charleston. There's only one Panera Bread in Charleston.
There you go.
We're meeting at noon. It's
awesome.
A big place, but one Panera Bread. So.
All right, cool. So go out there, get some lunch. They serve lunch, right? Yeah,
they do.
Panera, yeah, they have food there.
I don't know.
We've been there once,
No,
a long time ago.
I'm hungry now.
I know.
Right. Good French onion soup too.
I love their soup. Yeah, their soups are good.
Good now. All right. So with that, again, you stick around for a few minutes. Everyone else, have a safe weekend. Have fun. Enjoy life. And remember, never stop learning. See you next week.
Bye, guys.